right? So I wanted to make sure that we are looking at what are just some really healthy habits that everybody could do that would keep them healthier. So I'm going to list them off, and then we'll go into this cold, dry, hot, wet list. Eat dairy and sugars in raw form because they turn acidic when they're cooked. Eat at home more often than eating out. Eat good organic meat and cheese at home. Be vegetarian when eating out. If not knowing what to eat, eat half raw and half cooked. Add spices and ocean salt on everything you eat to taste. Add 1 tablespoon of raw olive oil on top of each plate of food you make. Eat a piece of fruit instead of drinking fruit juice. Add 1 tablespoon of raw sauerkraut to lunch and dinner. Make your own salad dressings, marinades, and sauces. At dinner, make enough food for lunch tomorrow. Eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to say it again. Eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not easy for people and very important. Start the day with electrolyte water. Take a thermos of warm miso soup or bone broth with you to work. So we might not be babies, but we still need sippy cups. We really need our sippy cups. We need our little bits. You know, sipping water, your cells can grab it and absorb it. You guzzle water every couple hours, you're gonna just urinate it right out. It's gonna be way too much gravity and too much water volume. And it's not gonna move slow enough to be able to really get grabbed by that cell. And so your kidneys are gonna be like, what am I supposed to do with this much water? I'm not used to this much water. So it dumps it to the bladder, and then we urinate. So frequent urination is an idea that you don't have enough electrolytes and you're either drinking too much water at a time or you've lost your ability to absorb water into your cells. It's an important piece, very important piece. Cool things that are primary ideas of health. One idea is whenever you eat a meal, you have all what's called your taste factors, your rasas are included. Now yours might be a little tweaked, yours might be a little different amount, yours are a different amount, but you never take out one of those. So you always have something sweet, salty, astringent, bitter, pungent, and sour. Sweet, salty, bitter, pungent, astringent, sour. This is the idea of what's called a thali plate. When you go to an Indian restaurant and they have all those different bowls, you've got your sour pickles, you've got every little component there to make a healthy meal for you. So you can decide how much you need on those lentils or on that pile of rice. Okay, so that's the one thing, which is also the same idea as eating a rainbow of colors. You want to eat the rainbow. You don't want to have one color on your plate. You want to have every color you could possibly get on that plate, because every color is showing you different vitamins and minerals. Beta carotene is your oranges. Vitamin C is your reds. Antioxidants are blue. You could literally tonight look up rainbow of colors and you will find every color and all of the vitamins and minerals that break down into that. Not going to be hard info to find, but you want to eat a rainbow. The other thing in Ayurveda is never iced drinks. So they don't believe anything should ever be cold. Even when you get something to drink in India, especially in like an Ayurvedic center, it's going to be warm or it's going to be room temp. So the idea is if there's ice and you're getting ready to eat, like in a restaurant, you're putting your coals out on your stomach fire. So you're actually slowing down your metabolism and then you're eating food on top of it. They also don't believe in drowning your food. So they say you only drink the amount of fluid you need in a meal that kind of matches the dryness of your meal. So if you're drinking if you have a soup, you don't need a glass of water. That's going to be too much waterlogged. The soup is already watery. So the drier the meal, the more you can have room temp water. but you wouldn't want to flood yourself or put your fire out from the get-go. It's just going to be that much more energy and time to break down your food. And the other one that is so interesting, and this one you are going to go play with for the whole next week, and hopefully you'll remember it. You will remember when you leave though, which is the 2 belch size of a meal. So literally, your meal should never be bigger than 2 angelis that are naturally piled on each other. And it's considered a third protein to 2/3 veggies. A third protein to 2/3 veggies. Veggies and carbs, because veggies are carbs, you know. So protein and veggies, okay? So that's the size. And if you ate the right amount, and if you didn't just talk through your whole meal, there's 2 belches that occur when you're eating. When you're putting food in and your stomach is half full, there's a little one, little tiny You like my idea of a belch? Right? And you have to pay attention, because sometimes you're like la 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 la, and you're like, oh excuse me, la 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 la, and you don't even like think about like, oh, there was that little belch. When you're 3/4 full in your stomach, meaning there's still room to expand, because your food has to expand, you know. You can't just fill up the stomach and have no room for expansion. So when you're 3/4 full, you have a larger, a more robust belch that really kind of comes up. If you're paying attention, you're like, whoa, that really did come up. That's when it's considered stop eating. That means you have your 2 angelis, your perfect amount. What happens though is we talk when we eat, so we take in tons of air, and that is disturbing. Or we have ice water, which then puts the fire out, you know? So this is why usually meals would be Mona, in silence. They are traditionally done in silence. You know, that's not what you see in the typical Indian home or anything like that, but that's certainly what you see in the ashram. You know, and you know, give it a go. Eat a meal alone, or even with a friend or a partner, and kind of like, let's have a silent meal. You can still look at each other and smile and hang out, but you're just not like blah 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 blah, taking in all that emotion into your food. So you're just paying attention to the food and your breath, and you know, and you'll get that little belch, and then you'll get a larger one, and that's pretty much good to go. Room for expansion. So they believe that if you don't put your fire out, and if you don't eat your emotions, and if you pay attention to when your stomach is at its proper amount of food, there would be no metabolism issues. There would be no digestive issues. That includes quantity, quality. But there wouldn't be a digestive issue, because we'd be more paying attention to the early stages of the gut, instead of like eating, emotional, talking, drinking, and then all of a sudden it's like, doesn't feel good. You know, something went wrong there. And then how are you gonna track? Like, was it the conversation? Was it the ice water? Was it what I chose to eat? Was it how much I ate? Was it the quality of what I ate? But these are the variables that are good to know, because these are questions you really could ask yourself when a meal's gone wrong. Like, maybe I should track back a little bit there. Like, what did go wrong in that meal?